Megan's comments, and you said as a whole you really didn't have a problem with it, and you're not backing down. What was the reaction to what you said yesterday?
Stephen A. Smith is a sellout. Stephen A. Smith's an Uncle Tom. Stephen A. Smith ain't black. You ain't one of us. These are the kind of things that were said to me yesterday. Twitter, emails, friends didn't say that to me. What they did was they called up and tried to talk to me, to challenge me on my points of view. Those that are in my inner circle, family, friends, loved ones, they know that I have nothing but love for them, and I appreciate where they're coming from. But when I say I don't give a damn, I can't even empathize. That doesn't know justice. I stand by everything that I said yesterday, tenfold, 100-fold. And I don't care who in the black community disagrees with me. I'm not interested in their disagreement on this particular issue because they're not looking at the bigger picture here. Mark Cuban, in the same breath that he talked about walking across the street from a black dude in a hoodie, followed that up by talking about the white dude who's bald-headed with tats all over his face and his body and what have you. Everybody wants to ignore that in our community. I want to say everybody because I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm just talking about the people that communicated with me, which were in the hundreds yesterday. I'm totally exhausted. I can't believe I'm up for this show with as many conversations I've had to have about this yesterday get on my damn nerves. But the thing about it is that all of those folks ignored the part that he said about the white guy because we want to pounce on him making this statement and alluding to black folks or talking about somebody in a hoodie that happens to be black and how he'd walk across the street. He talked about the prejudices that exist in all spectrums about all of us. Are we going to sit here and literally act like we don't have any prejudices? Like we don't feel certain way about certain people or certain people's appearances and how it makes us raise our antennas? Am I going to sit here and tell you that if at night and I saw, a couple of white dudes with tats all over their body and their head or whatever, and I'm going to feel comfortable with that, I'm not going to raise an eyebrow? Would I be telling the truth? Particularly if I was in some place like Mississippi or Idaho, not to knock those folks, but you hear where I'm coming from in terms of, sometimes how black folks feel uncomfortable in certain areas geographically in our nation. I mean, this is just a reality, okay? And so as a result of it, you don't do harm to anybody. You don't inflict harm or pain towards anybody else, but does it raise your antennas and makes you a bit suspicious? Sure it does. So what Mark Cuban was saying was 100% correct. It's just that simple. But the bigger issue that needs to be discussed, it's the big elephant in the room, and nobody wants to touch on it because white folks are scared they're going to be labeled racist. Black folks are scared they're going to be labeled sellouts. See, I tend to look at things a bit different. I look at our unemployment rate consistently being double that of folks in white America. I do understand that to some degree there's a level of racism that we all have to overcome, and I get all of that. But that doesn't mean every single issue is race-related. Sometimes it is about how you represent yourself. It is about how you present yourself. When I alluded to walking around with your pants hanging below your behind, that's trifling. That's just trifling. And it's counterproductive. When I talked about how you sit there and the first words out of your mouth is, you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean? No, the hell we don't. You ain't saying anything yet. That's a reality. When I talk about not having a command of the English language, and still you want a job, and you want to have a career, but you don't want to get your education. You don't want to go out there and pound that pavement. Everything's about the sprint. It's not about the marathon. It's not about you putting forth the necessary effort and due diligence over the long haul to get the things that you need. That's a reality in our community. And when you look at the guys, whether it's P. Diddy, whether it's Jay-Z, whether it's LeBron or D-Wade or whatever, here's the reality of the situation. Everybody can't be them. They're special. And sometimes some of the special people, I'm not talking about them specifically, but some of the special people within our community don't get it. They are special. Everybody can't be them. So when I'm here on national television talking to them and talking to our community, I'm trying to educate you about the minefields that await, the stereotypes and the perceptions I look at some of these rap artists or what have you, making it tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't consider them the American dream. I consider them a fantasy turned reality. You couldn't, in your wildest dreams, no matter where you're from or where you at, imagine that you could have achieved what they have achieved. It's very few that are fortunate enough to do that. When we talk about the American dream, you know who I think about? Myself. Hollis, Queens, New York City. Left back in the 4th grade. Grew up poor. The level of education that I had was a public school system. I ultimately graduate from high school. I go to a historically black institution like Winston-Salem State University. I graduate with honors. There is no journalism program. I still graduate with honors. I still beat out thousands of people to get an internship that ultimately transitioned from a career at the New York Daily News to the Philadelphia Inquirer to CNN and then Fox Sports and then ultimately ESPN. And I'm on national TV every day. Get paid pretty well, I might add. And I'm thinking about the fact that where did I come from? This is the road you gotta climb. You know, everybody can't be Jay-Z. That's 1 in a billion. Everybody can't be Shaq and Kobe. That's 1 in a billion. But you can be Stephen A. Smith. Educate yourself. Work hard. Do what you have to do. Pound that pavement. Be about the business of going for yours and understanding what you have to do to work through the political minefield that waits for you in every step of our lives. That's what I'm talking about. And people don't get that. The people from our community, by and large, are not getting that because we're too busy pointing the finger of blame at other people instead of looking at ourselves and how we can move forward and ultimately improve ourselves. And that's really the problem. So them pointing the finger at me, keep it coming. I'm not wilting. I'm not bowing. I'm not running away. I damn sure ain't hiding. This is the reality of the situation that plagues our community, and somebody needs to be real about it, so I'll do it.